I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, or should I say good evening, Jena Rodriguez. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful evening?
I am doing amazing. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you for asking as well. What part of the world are you in right now?
Yeah, that's a good question because it's still a little earlier than maybe where you are. I'm actually in Houston, Texas.
Wow, so it's earlier, even earlier. So it's 6 p.m. right now by me, and it's probably what, like 3 by you?
4, actually.
Okay,
4.
4.
Yeah, so we're getting close to the end of the day.
Which is cool. All right, my friend. Well, please do tell us which of your talents that you've been operating in definitely is responsible for us connecting at this point in time.
Yeah. So being an entrepreneur that I am, I'm a business coach and strategist. My job is to be visible and to be online and to really be out there in the online world and share my gifts and my website and be out there in a high level of visibility. And so I would say that's the talent that had me run across your show and what you're up to. And of course, my talent as a podcast host myself, I'm always on the lookout for other great shows to be a part of. Yeah. So visibility is king, I suppose.
I love it. Yeah. So tell us about your podcast, please.
Sure. My podcast is called The Brave Entrepreneur, and it's on iTunes. We're actually creating a video segment of it as well. So Sweet. It's on my YouTube channel and all of the above. So yeah.
Well, that's great. So thebravepodcast.com is definitely the best place to access that as well, right?
Right. Thebravepodcast.com redirects you right to the episodes on my website.
Oh, sweet.
Exactly.
Which is bravemasters.com.
That's right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So who did you learn the skill of being a brave from?
Brave is something I have been very blessed with since childhood. And only in the last couple of years did I articulate it that way. And being an entrepreneur, there was a point where I'm a speaker. So I was speaking at an event. And one of the things I said in the moment, it was just in the moment, spur of the moment, I said, entrepreneurship is not the easy way. It is the brave way. And I took that and I ran with it. And I was like, oh, that's a good point of view. And that's exactly what I believe. And then I started to back into the fact that brave is something I've always been. I just never articulated it until now. And, it really just means that you're willing to say yes and figure it out. You're willing to take the risks. You're willing to, make it work. You're willing to be afraid and do it anyway. Like all of that is what Brave's all about. And I figured that out along the way.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I think it speaks to as well how necessary it is to do, right? How much happens in taking action. Definitely on point. But we can definitely chat about the challenges that do occur in being brave and the mindset it takes. I'd like to know, given that, why will you continue, Jena, in spite of?
To be brave?
Yeah.
Is that the question? Yeah. I am so much more committed to my potentiality than the limitation. And I'm also committed to helping others discover and embrace their potential and realize it, for that matter. And so that commitment has me do things that I may not be comfortable with, and I may be fearful of, or it's like I'm standing on the edge of the cliff, and I'm willing to jump for the sake of not only my own potential but also for others. And I believe the more brave you are, I always say brave daily, it gets a little easier. And some things, it's kind of like building a muscle. And so because of my commitment to what's on the other side and the magic and the blessings and the rewards, I'm willing to be brave for it. So that's what keeps me in the game of it.
It comes across like a bear brave, not a lion brave, but a bear brave. For some reason, it's just like that cuddly, warm bear that can definitely take action.
I like that.
I love it. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
So one of the things for 3 years, if not longer, one of the things that makes such a big difference in my life and my business and my personal life, etc., is that I create my future intentionally. I write what I call creation statements every day for the most part. And what that means is that I see it done, I see it handled, I imagine it the way I want it versus what I don't want. And my life has truly taken a turn for the better because of that habit. And so because of that, things have really grown and expanded and really shifted in my world for the better. So that's certainly something I do consistently in my everyday existence.
How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel like I have something to do with the way my world shows up. And it makes me feel, empowered and also not so much in control, because I think control is an illusion. And I'm a recovering control freak, of course. But it does make me feel like I have something to do with how it turns out. And that's why I do it. And there's so much that shows up exactly as I planned. And it's just really powerful.
Yeah, it's actually powerful to see you come up with a method that is treating your strengths. It's pretty, it's pretty intriguing. Usually you hear individuals treat their weaknesses, but to treat your strength is I love that. Now, suggest to someone that's listening, someone that may have a strength just like your strength, why they should even consider doing what you've done.
As far as the habit, the creation statement habit, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So, because here's the thing, before, and I was gifted this method by a transformational life coach that I work with, and before I learned of it, before I was kind of in the habit of doing so and being accountable to that, I lived a very different life. My life was in reaction. My life was about judgment and blame and, trying to protect myself from whatever, right, that's out there. And so my life is very different. And that's why I would suggest it highly, because then you live in a life of intention and purpose and clarity versus that reaction and, some of those negative, frequency things that we just want to stay away from. And so personally, I've done my own transformation in life because of it. And so that's why I would suggest it highly.
Amazing audience. We are live with Jena Rodriguez. She is the podcast host of The Brave Podcast. You could definitely check that out at thebravepodcast.com. Jena, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Jena, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Wow, what a question. So many. The one that shows up for me just in the spur of the moment is, it's playing outdoors. It's riding my bike for the first time, which was brave, by the way. And it's the moves I made. I'm very vividly remember all the transitions that I had as a child and making new friends and moving and relocating and all of that. And it just has made me who I am today, for that matter.
That's intriguing. How old do you think you were? Just the way you just ran through the timeline of your life right there. What were the ages
age range. So I moved a lot pretty much throughout my entire childhood. But riding my bike for the first time, I believe I was like 5. Right. So I remember that banana boat bike. I remember falling off of it. I remember getting back on. Yeah, so that was a big deal back then.
Yeah, that's intriguing. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I think it's where I really really started brave. I really started, I live in Houston, but like I said, I moved a lot. So I came back into Houston in 1999. And for me to be born in Houston, leave Houston and come back, riding that bike was in my very early childhood memories because it was right before I left Texas. And things really started to change. And so I suppose that's why it showed up for me.
Yeah. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure.
I love the idea of oversight that gives an individual the advantage, if you would. You spoke about being over-controlling a bit, right? Back in the day, right? Like way back, right? But I think the thing that you will definitely becoming attached to is having the oversight that control gives you. At least the idea that it's giving you that. But the oversight gives you the opportunity to be brave, right?
That's right.
And to see the way that you even, like in that banana bike, the way you had oversight of time and what was happening is pretty intriguing. That it spoke to your braveness, if you would.
That's good. Yeah, I was always probably looking for a place of stability.
Yeah.
Yet, especially with all the transitions, and yet it was just my path and purpose and journey to really run into all the opportunities, the amazing opportunities to be brave.
Yeah. Now you're helping other people be brave as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
We make them brave masters.
Boom. Get your brave on, right?
Yes. Every day, get your brave on.
Love it. Well, hey, if we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Oh, I'm really bad at song titles, right. But I know I loved Madonna and Whitney Houston and all. I was dancing in my living room at 12 years old.
Yeah. It definitely connects, right? Like the braveness of those individuals, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Jena?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Jena, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Oh, absolutely. Every client I have and my children that are in my world. So my two daughters.
All right. So are you married?
I am, yes.
Right. You have two daughters. Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Absolutely. They're my support.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Not 3 hours a day.
How about 3 hours a week?
Definitely 3 hours a week.
All right. What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, definitely 8 hours or more. It's my life.
But Jena, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook, the name of it being called Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. And my idea is you answer questions, you go through self-reflection, and then you uncover your own unique real statement, also known as your mission. I'm intrigued. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, your mission, what would you say that is?
Wow. I have many, but I would say this, that I stand for all people to realize their human potential. And that's what I'm on this planet to help eradicate, is unrealized human potential.
Love it. Jena, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would just like to say, as an entrepreneur, I have fallen down. I have filed bankruptcy. I have gotten back up. I have triumphed, and I continue to stay in the game over a decade and more. And so the only way to do that is to never quit and to be brave every single day.
Love it. Jena Rodriguez, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.